And welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. We have a great show for you today, and it'll be a little unique. There are no commercials in this show today, and the reason we're doing that is because, well, we've got a specialist from State Farm with the agency recruiting part of their system. And we wanted to give you a little information about their, I'll call it collaboration. When they're looking for somebody to be a State Farm agent, there's a specialist they're looking for. They've got a specific type of person, and if you fit the design, I hope that you'll engage with my guest today, Kimberly Evans.
Hi, Patrick. Thank you so much for having me here today.
I'm glad to have you. I want to get into this segment, and really this show is about the candidate. Who do you consider to be the ideal candidate, and what are some of the things that you guys do to get them through that process?
Okay, great question. The opportunity to become a State Farm agent is unlike anything else that I have ever seen. We're really looking for four main competencies. The first one I really deem soft qualities, okay? So what that means is we're looking for things that I cannot teach you. The desire to help others, for example. Do you have an entrepreneurial vision, for example? Do you enjoy sales? Do you want to lead a team? So those are sort of soft competencies that I'm looking for, because there's no doubt that this is a very rewarding business. It's very rewarding financially, but it's very rewarding intrinsically. In other words, the first time that you pay out a cash benefit on a life policy, it's absolutely going to change your life.
I would imagine that the impact on that emotionally will be life-changing. So that's, I get you talking about that.
Absolutely. You know, you're the one person that's there when kind of people are at their worst, when they need something, when they've had a wreck, when their house is burnt down, and you, as an agent, are that one person that gets to put people back together again, and that's really rewarding. And there's not a lot of opportunities out there like this, but we need somebody that has a desire to help others, and sort of that's kind of where that comes in, if that makes sense.
Sure.
We want people that have a passion to help others, more or less. If you don't mind, I'll tell you a quick story. I have an agent who, there was a major wreck on a freeway, and that particular agent insured the motorcycle fatality. And she had never offered him life insurance. And that completely changed her life, the way she ran her business and the role of how important that she is in other people's lives.
Right, because
So,
anytime you're having that kind of impact and you realize, wow, if I have that one client, how can I affect so many others? Is that what you're saying?
yes, absolutely. Excuse me. I also am looking for hard competencies. So what does that mean? Those are people that they're high producing, already successful individuals. They usually have a track record of success. You know, they are always at the top of the list. They're always trying to be the best in, regardless of what industry it is. The industry is not necessarily specific, but are you currently trying to be the best at what you do? You know, a lot of times, I also think, you know, you've got to be a little bit competitive, and sometimes that's competitive against yourself.
Right.
But ultimately, what we're talking about, you know, a lot of times I've had success with people in the sports industry, teachers or coaches. They may not have sold something, but they have led people. They have achieved high results, and they've had a vision that other people have to go along and follow.
Right.
And that's partly of what has attributed to their success. So those are more hard competencies that we're looking for.
Well, one of the things that's kind of neat too is that selling is serving. I mean, that's what it really is about, right? And so you're, just like what you're saying, you're competitive enough to make results happen, but your desire and your heart is to make sure that you help other people get where they want to go, right?
Absolutely. And that's kind of those hard competencies, more or less. But at the same time, we're also looking, I'm also looking for something that might be lacking.
Right.
Okay, there's a need to make them want to switch over to become a State Farm agent. So sometimes maybe they're in the type of position where there's no room for advancement. Maybe they're doing the work, the company's had layoffs, they're doing the work of 10 people,
right,
and they're not reaping those rewards for themselves like a State Farm agent does. I mean, the harder you work, the more you will make, the better you will do, the more people you can help.
Right.
So they don't necessarily have that connection where they currently are. A lot of industries are downsizing. And because of that, people are looking elsewhere. And usually there's something intrinsically that is lacking that they are looking for.
Right. And I know that sometimes it's they're in a mom and pop organization. They're one of the lead horses, so to speak, but they don't have the right last name, right?
Could be, yeah, absolutely.
Can't get to where they really want to be in leadership because bloodline's not the same.
Well, and a lot of really competitive positions also require a lot of travel, which means being away from your family. So
Right.
sometimes they just are looking for a work-life balance,
Now, military guys too. I mean, some of those come with some of these competencies. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. We've had a huge success because they know how to lead. They are very strong at creating a vision, executing a plan, and really making things work very succinctly. So absolutely, we've had a lot of success with people from military coaches. The industry isn't necessarily important. It's more about who you are and what you're looking for.
Well, and the other thing about some military guys is they might have a retirement that, because you can retire so early,
right,
20 years or whatever, and they'll have a fund to help them, won't that?
Absolutely, Patrick, and you bring up a great point, which is really the fourth thing that I am looking for, and what that is the ability to invest. Okay, so let me talk a little bit around what that might mean. I'm looking for no liens, judgments, tremendous amount of late pays. So you think of it this way. You're about to be responsible for other people's money, so your own house needs to be in order, if that
right. Makes sense to me.
Okay.
Because you can't give away something you ain't got.
Right.
In other words, you're going to serve whatever you have going on in your life, you're going to replicate in your agency. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. But you also need to have the ability to have access to capital, possibly not take money out the first few years as well. Those are all things surrounding the financial piece of this opportunity, because it is that. I mean, if this were easy, everybody would do it. I often tell people the definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who sees the risk, sees the reward, and can tie the two together. Not
right.
everybody can do that. So we are looking for entrepreneurial people, and there's a financial aspect to that for sure.
I would imagine that idea of being able to carry yourself is a stopping point for a lot of people, even at this point, is that if they can't carry themselves, then at that point they may look for alternatives within the State Farm arena possibly.